Happy Saturday morning, friends. I'm here. I'm gonna do a little painting and I'm gonna yap at you for a while and we can just catch up and maybe this can inspire you to get some painting done or something creative done this weekend. This week in the chats, I talked about how I go about doing my artist playing cards or my artist trading cards. I use playing cards. There is an artist that I follow on Instagram. She is so talented that whatever I am showing you here today, when you go look at hers and then you see what I do, you're gonna be like, oh man. But she's amazing. Her name is Riley Sheehey. I think that's how you say it. That is how you spell it. If you want to go find her on Instagram. A few years ago, it might have been more than a few years ago now, she did a 52-week trading card series where she documented herself painting trading cards. Just inexpensive, a full deck of trading cards. And what was so interesting to me at the time was that I wasn't doing a lot of creating at the time. I think I was stuck on what to do and how to do it. And it really kind of got me back into things. Because there's 52 weeks in a year, 52 cards in a deck. So you have a canvas for every week that's super inexpensive and you didn't really need anything special to do it. Just some cheap paints and expensive paints if you have them, but cheap paints, and you needed nothing special to do this. So I sat down and I wrote out ahead of time all of my themes for each week, like what I was going to paint. And I chose a subject matter that I could think of a variety of things. So I chose like a foodie theme, and I just sat down and I figured out each week, this is what I'm going to paint. In my mind, I knew that if I sat down to paint and I wasn't quite sure what to paint, like I would fail. I would never get it done. So I did find that planning it out ahead of time was really easy for me to do. And if you can't think of 52 foods that you enjoy, then you're doing something wrong, and I don't want to know you. But yeah, I found a few of them laying around. I gave most of them away and traded them, which I really regret now. I really wish that I would have held on to some of them because some of them were so cute. But this is the one that I found that was laying around, which is a Linzer cookie. There's a ton. I mean, you could do, the sky's the limit with the things you could do. You don't even have to pick a cohesive theme. You can just kind of go by suit and look to see what it might resemble to you, and even just jot that down. Like, I remember I did, the one week I did the clubs I did as broccoli one week, just because that's what it reminded me of. I know I've seen people do the hearts are the easiest, I feel. Like the hearts could be pretty much any fruit you could think of. I saw somebody like do the diamonds as kites. I mean, you could just go through. And whatever they inspire you or whatever they look like to you, go ahead and do it. Just do it. So one of the things that I learned by doing this very quickly was that the playing cards have a slick surface. So the paint doesn't really adhere great. I have a few cards, and that's probably why I still have this one, is I can tell this one, some of the paint is coming off. So one thing that I recommend to do, which I've done ahead of time here, is I just put a layer of gesso over where I'm going to paint, just to give it the paint a place to stick. I did, however, like wipe the gesso off of the two corners where I kind of wanted the number and the heart to be. So you could really do this any way you'd like. I mean, you could not utilize these and just paint whatever you like. going to do these as strawberries. And yeah, so if you want a background color, like obviously you lay down your background color first and you let it dry. I'm probably not going to get that serious with it. I'm probably just going to paint 3 strawberries and some vines and call it a day. You can get as elaborate as you like, but I have really cheap paint. Oh, so yeah, gesso. I have a big jar of it, but gesso your cards first. If you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. I have a handful of acrylic paints here. These are cheap from the Dollar Tree. These are not so cheap, but not expensive either. They're just from Michael's. I like to have a straight edge. Like on this one in particular, I decided to do lines or a striped pattern in the background, so I needed a straight edge. I have my thinnest and tiniest paintbrushes available because this is a small canvas, so you're not going to be using a large brush. And then I have a, well, this is for clay, but I use it as a dotting tool. So I usually keep that close by because I like to add polka dots as a accent a lot of times. So think about the colors you want to use. I have obviously strawberries. I'm going to need pink and green, and I'm going to need red, and I'm going to need probably a little yellow. I'm going to need a lot of different colors. So yeah, I'm just going to get those out on my little plate. Ew, that one doesn't look so hot. Oh well, it's what it is. Shimei was talking the other day in the chats about how she was inspired to paint, but she had to wrap her head around how to do it. And I think that's the hardest thing, because to sit down and just no outline, like nothing, and just to sit down and paint is very daunting. It's not an easy thing to do. One of the things that I suggested was that you take a picture that you see, like just a magazine, and just sit down with it and paint over it. An image, just sit there and play with your paint and just paint over the image. Or even like a coffee table book, sit down with it, that you don't care about, rip out the page and just sit and take an existing image and add paint to it. Practice with your brushes, practice with your paint. I think by doing that, you'll get to also identify the use of color. And because a lot of times we look at something and there's a lot of colors going on, but our eyes don't necessarily see that. Especially when you begin painting, you're like, oh, a strawberry, I need red and I need green. When you need a lot more colors than that. But you're not going to know that until you start. And a lot of your paintings at the beginning will probably look like junk, but that's okay. That's completely expected and to be expected and completely normal. Yeah, so I just am following these heart lines here. And I'm just going to make a strawberry out of it. That's all. I chose the 3 card because it would be easy for time today to do that as well. So what's going on in your lives? Anything fun happening? I'm in the middle of swim season. My daughter swims competitively, and she swims competitively year-round. So it's very time consuming. And yeah, so we're in the middle of summer swim season. One thing that I hate about summer, I love summer. Summer's the best. But one thing that I do hate about summer is I am a lot busier. I shouldn't say that. I am a lot more, I'm out of the house a lot more, I should say. And it really inhibits my ability to get movement in or to eat right. And it happens every summer, and it's very frustrating for me. So on the weekends, I've been trying to dedicate some time to really, like, long amounts of time to get movement in, whether it's a very long walk or, a very long walk and other modalities, whether it's lifting or yoga or whatever. I try so hard on the weekends, but man, am I failing miserably. But that's okay. I have all winter to get back at it, which is usually what happens. My daughter swims every weeknight in the winters for probably about 2.5 hours. She's in the pool, probably about 3 hours total. So in the winter, I have 3 hours where a group of us take like a Zumba class or, something fun. So I get to do all kinds of things in the winter. I have lots of time. So I'm kind of looking forward to fall rolling around and winter rolling around, where I have that community and movement too, because I do enjoy moving with other people. So I'm very excited for fall and winter, but trying to enjoy the season I'm in now, which sometimes can be hard. All right, so see how I'm just making those hearts like bigger? That's all I'm doing right now. I'm just laying color down. That's it. That's my garage door, my husband's home. Saturday mornings, he runs a bunch of errands, and he takes the dog with him, and the dog knows it's time. He knows it's Saturday morning. He's ready to do his errands. He is ready to go. The thing about this paint is it dries like really, really fast. So that's really good. So I don't have like a long wait time until I can go back in or shade with another color. Right now I'm just kind of going in with some, it looks to me like an iridescent light pink. So maybe these strawberries aren't quite ripe yet. So maybe that's something that I need to think about. Strawberries are really easy to paint, especially when you already have the hearts as your guide. So maybe that's something you can think about. I'm also going to think about how sometimes strawberries have a little bit of green in them when they're not ripe. But keep in mind, that's not like a green. It's like a light green. And if it's a light green, what else does it have to it? Tinges of yellow, right? So right now I'm just mixing. I'm just mixing some yellow into my green. Sorry, my computer monitors are flashing in the background. I wasn't quite sure what that was. So yeah, if you don't have a color that you think you need, it's really easy to make. Now I'm going in, I haven't changed brushes yet. I'm just kind of happy with this brush. So think about where the strawberry appears unripe. Like when you get it from the grocery store, or when you pick it, like where does that, usually where it sits on the ground, right? Like usually where it's touching the ground. Maybe you don't know that. Where it's touching is usually where it isn't ripe. So, or at the top by where the vine is. Yeah, so I think my strawberries are just like a little bit coming into their own yet. They're not quite there. These kind of are also giving me tomato vibes. Everything gives me tomato vibes though. I love tomatoes. Like, I love to paint tomatoes. I love to draw tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I don't really love to eat tomatoes. I mean, I like them, but not like crazy. All right, so I have the base of my strawberry. I'm gonna work on, and I'm concerned my brushes aren't thin enough for the vines. I hid this one. My daughter does stuff. Sometimes she wants to do like nail stuff, like with her fingernails. So like I hide all my little brushes. All right, so now a vine, like that can be a darker green, right? And the top of the strawberry. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's something that's really hard for me, is I have a hard time with if it's not perfect. Like I have a hard time seeing that it's good enough, or that's something that, and I spiral on that. And like I'll throw out all kinds of things. And then sometimes I've learned that all I really need to do is step away from it and come back to it. Because every time when I come back to it, I'm like, oh, like I'm okay with that. That's not as bad as I thought it was. And it happens every time. And it's just something I think we all kind of continually have to work on, that you don't have to be perfect when you create. And also, you're never going to get better if you don't practice. And so just look at it that way, like you're just practicing. Sorry, my tongue's hanging out again. So there we are. They're coming along. I'm going to do some vines along the side. And maybe I'll do like some flowers, some like of the white blossoms. What are some things that you like? I know my daughter, like right now, I know like the whole like lobster, seafood, tinned fish, like all that stuff is pretty interesting right now. Everybody seems to be loving that. So I just went ahead along the outside and did some little things. Yeah, I know like that's like a really big thing right now, which is fun. I like how different things become popular. So I'm just going back in and I'm just adding some little curly cues. Because strawberry vines kind of have those little curlies. All right. Well, this brush worked out. Good. I'm glad that brush worked out. Now, for my flowers, they're usually white, so I'm going to lay some gray down. Oh, it doesn't look very gray, does it? What's this guy? Bliss. It's called Bliss. I don't know. Let's see. Well, that one might work. It's pretty. So the very last thing I'm going to do on this, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do the little flowers. And then the very, oh, I should do some leaves. Okay, I'll do the leaves before I go in with the flowers. The strawberry leaves are like 3 points, I think, right? I think they are. If they're not, they are now. They don't look like strawberry leaves to me. Sometimes I have to look. They're good enough. Yeah, so do you guys like to make cards and trade them? Do you guys like to use them in your journals? Do you buy them? Do you like what do you do? Like how do you use them? I'm assuming a lot of people like to collage them, which I think is really fun. I think that's a really fun idea. I know a lot of like the mixed media is easy, like it's an easy scrap buster to use them up. Yeah, so I just kind of went in with a little bit of like yellow tone to the leaves. Sorry, they're not good. All right. I saw somebody do one like with all washi tape and it was really cool. And I was like, oh, that's so clever. I prefer when I'm trying to make something be white, I try and make it be like when I'm, because obviously like you can't paint white on white, you don't see it. So I make it like a gray. But a very light gray. It's usually what I do. And then it's subtle enough and you can go in and change, you know, you can shade it different colors. I'll add a center to it. I'll do like a bigger one here. But yeah, this doesn't have to be something that takes a super long time or that's super elaborate. Obviously it's small, so it's not going to be something that's going to take a ton of time. I think as I was saying earlier, I gotta go in and the very last thing, I'm just giving my strawberries a chance to dry. After my strawberries are completely dry, I'm gonna go back in with a brown and add the seeds. So what I think of with flowers is not like perfection. Definitely not perfection. There's no flower, except some violets, I feel like. Violets are very symmetrical, at least a lot of mine are. But I just went in there and added some florals. And then I'm going to take my dotting tool and add yellow centers. I might take my bigger one. I'm actually using like an orangey color, like an orangish. Did I miss any? Oh, that's pretty good. And now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to use some brown. Oh, I think I used this already. I think this is what I used for the middles. Yes, it is. All right, well, maybe I'll just go and do that. Or maybe I'll add some black to that. Just a touch of black. The black is like so funny because like you never need a lot. You just need a tiny, tiny bit. I hope this isn't boring for you guys to watch. Yeah, that didn't work out for me. Yeah, I hope this isn't boring because sometimes it's hard for me to like think and paint and talk all at the same time. Don't ask me to do like all of the things. That'll be good enough. And if not, sometimes you can go back in and wipe things off a little bit. Yep, that'll work. So basically I mixed some black and some orange to kind of make this brown color. And I'm just going in with this little dot tool. You could use the tip of a pencil. You could use like a mechanical pencil and like make sure the lead's pushed all the way in to use as a dotting tool. You can use, if you have a brush that has, like obviously for this size of a painting, you wouldn't want to use that, but you could use like a smaller tip. There's lots of things that you could use. And I'm just going to go in and dot my berries. And when you think about a strawberry, like it's just a ton of dots, right? And some of these are looking a little too big. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm gonna get a smaller dotting tool. So it is the appropriate size. One thing that you wouldn't want to do is you likely would not want to go into this with a paintbrush and try and make the seeds. This is just far too tiny. Even my dotting, even my smallest like dotting tool is a little too big for my liking, but it'll do. What are some things that you guys like to paint if you do paint? Like, what are some things that you like? Or draw even. I like always having a theme of stuff to do. I always enjoy, like maybe it was 2 summers ago, I would take pictures of like old china that I would see at the thrift store and I would paint it. I'm not super good at painting like a scene or like a whole, but like a single object, I'm okay at. An entire thing, no. Or a person, nope, not doing it. Not doing it at all. but like I am really big into single objects. I love to paint like just single objects. I'm hungry. What is everyone eating? What's everyone eating this weekend? What's everyone making for lunch or breakfast? I could really have, I could really eat avocado toast. That sounds so good. Now that I'm done for the most part, I kind of want to make my little threes, little strawberries, but I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. This is kind of a long video, and I'm sure I'm boring you at this point, but yeah, isn't it fun? I think it's fun. A way to grow your creativity, a way to grow your toolbox, a way to grow your skills. That's one thing I think that's really important. I think if you're stuck in a place where you keep doing the same things over and over again, and you're not stretching yourself, you're not growing. And you want a lot of things in your toolbox, whether it's for mental health purposes, to give you an outlet, whether it's just for the sake of learning. As we get older, we just stop learning new things. So pick up a paintbrush, pick up some Dollar Tree. Go to the Dollar Tree, get some stuff. Get a pack of playing cards, some paintbrushes, and just sit down and have an afternoon with it. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.